All right. So in this video, we'll be discussing about some expensive machine that you can rent on AWS, right? And if you're not familiar with EC2 services on AWS, that is basically you're renting someone else's computer, right? A virtual machine, you can say. So these can be Linux instances, Windows Server, and nowadays they are supporting Mac OS as well. Okay, so this will be kind of a fun video. So the other day I was going through the instance type list, right? So there's I'll be showing you in a moment. So I saw some supercomputers, you can say, and the hourly rent that you have to pay if you are using those instances, those are like crazy, right? So yeah, in this video, I will be showing you a couple of those, and just to set the context, let me just show you like what do I mean by EC2 instance types, right? So as I have already mentioned, like EC2 is a virtual environment, virtual computer renting service that is offered by AWS, right? So you can basically rent different type of virtual machine based on your need, right? So these are all the instance type. There are many types, by the way. So these are broad categories basically. So if you do not have any kind of special needs, in that situation you will be going with this general purpose one, right? So they will have a pretty good amount of CPU as well as random access memory or RAM, and they have pretty good amount of bandwidth as well. So this thing, right? So if you're building any kind of web server, then you will need a lot of bandwidth, you can say. From the T series, T2, T3, so these are super cheap. Okay, so T2 Nano is the most cheapest one you can get from AWS, I guess. So yeah, these are general purpose one, then compute and optimized as I have mentioned. And for these are C series, right? C for compute optimized. Okay. So C series are like if you need any kind of machine that has a like higher amount of virtual CPU, in that situation you have to go with compute optimized. And the use case are like if you are doing any kind of video processing, maybe file processing, batch processing, in those situation you need a lot of computing power, right? So for those use cases you can go with compute optimize, and they have many, like in the C4 category they have these C8, C5. After that we are having memory optimized, and memory optimized you already know from the name. And R is short for RAM, by the way. And in the memory optimized they have many offerings as well. And you can see vCPU is short for virtual CPU. So for this machine the vCPU is 448, but the memory, so you are having more than 6000 gigabyte of memory RAM for this machine, right? 6 terabyte almost. Anyway, so these are memory optimized. Then there are accelerated computing, so these are graphics card optimized. So if you need any kind of AI related things, let's say if you are training any kind of model or you are doing any kind of graphics rendering, those in those situation you need the graphics card, right? Powerful graphics card, and then you can opt for this accelerated computing on. And then the storage optimized, like if you are running any kind of database or caching database, you can say, right? In that situation, for caching database you have to go with this memory optimized. But yeah, if you are using the storage, the hard disks of that computer, then you have to go with this storage optimized. It's not the case that if you're going with general purpose or compute optimized you are not going to get any kind of storage, but these are optimized for storage, right? So for the storage optimized as well, you can get some pretty high CPU machine, you can say this 96. Okay, but you can see the instance storage is high, and as well as the network bandwidth is high as well. Okay, and then some other HPC optimized, I don't like high performance computing optimized. So these are almost similar to this compute optimized as well. So let's not go into the details. So now you know like what is the naming convention. Like if you see any instance that is starting with C, right, you already know like this is a compute optimized. Okay, if it is starting with R, you know it is RAM optimized or memory optimized. So this is a short overview of the EC2 instance type. Now let us go to our EC2 instances dashboard. So you have to have a AWS account to see this screen, obviously, right? So from this EC2 instance dashboard, so by the way, I'm just typing here EC2, and if you click, it will take you to this dashboard. Okay, so this is a newer version, I guess. Anyway, so in the left panel, you will be having this tab called instances, right? If I click on this instances, it will show you all the instances that are currently running. And there is another tab that is called instance type. So from this instance type, you can choose whatever instance you want. So right now it's loading. Yeah, loading is done. So you can see there are many instances, right? You can see this is sorted by instance type. You can sort by virtual CPU core. You can sort by architecture, right? You can search for any particular instance as well. So if I search for T2 Nano, you can see this is T2 Nano. Okay, let me clear all the filters. So in the right section, there is a column called on-demand Linux pricing. On-demand means like it will bill you per hour basis. Like if you are just using this machine for 2 hours, you will only pay for 2 hours, right? So there are other system as well, other payment method as well. One is provision means like if you need any kind of machine for let's say 2 to 3 years, you can provision that machine, and that will save you a lot of money, almost 50 to 60% discount you will be having. And then there will be spot instances. Spot instances are like, let's say if Amazon has the machine available, then it will give you, like it is not guaranteeing that the machine will be up and running, right? So let's say if you are doing some sort of like third party worker kind of job, in that situation you can go for spot instances, and for spot instance you can get almost 90% discount. But let's just talk about on demand pricing. So right now it's kind of slow, so let me apply the filter. So these are the cheapest one. So the first 5 or 6 does not have any pricing because this column is dedicated for Linux pricing, right? And these are Mac machine. So anyway, and this is T4G.nano. So this is the cheapest one. So T4G.nano is the cheapest one. Then T2 Nano. So after T2 Nano, previously T2 Nano was the cheapest one, I guess. But anyway, let me just change the filter now. And right now I'm just showing you in descending order of prices. Previously I was showing you ascending order of prices. So you can see there's a machine called U7. Okay, so and U series is also optimized for memory. You can see this one. So U7, this one. Okay, so U7IN and 32 TB version. Yeah, so in this machine you will be having 896 virtual CPUs. Architecture is x86, that's fine. And the memory you are having is 32 terabyte. Okay, like this is RAM. Just pause for a second and process that in your head. Like you are getting 32 terabyte of RAM inside a system. Okay, and yeah, this is the pricing part. So I can just select this system and I can launch instance. So if I launch that instance, that will cost me $407 per hour. So if I convert it in rupees, almost 407 into 86, almost 30,000 rupees, not 86, yeah, 35,000 rupees in an hour. Okay, so that's why I made the thumbnail. So let's do the calculation now. So 407.68, and we'll be running this instance 24 into 30. So you can see 293,000 or almost $3,000 per month if you're running the CPU. And there's some pretty big stuff here. So this is 407. This is optimized for memory. This one is optimized for memory as well. Like top 6, I guess, top 8 are optimized for memory. Then you are having the P series is for accelerated computing. Yeah. Like if you need any kind of AI model to be trained or something like that, then you can go with this P series as well, right? So yeah, these are some, you can say these are supercomputer. If you have the money and if you have the requirement, then you can spin up an instance. The maximum I have spin up is in my life is T3 large. So this is the maximum amount of machine I had in my life. Like my day-to-day work, I like serverless approach. If I'm building any kind of web apps, then the static files, I'm just storing those in the S3. If I need any kind of backend endpoint, I'm just building that on top of Lambda and AWS Gateway. But yeah, if you need the raw access of the virtual machine, then you can go for EC2 instances as well.